Letters to the editor. Way back a gazillion years ago, before there was the internet, letters to the editor were the main way that community members could communicate both with the media as well as with each other about their opinions on anything from the events of the day to what they read about in the paper to things the paper should be covering. Social media then allowed people to sort of have this type of forum in sort of a more freewheeling type of way. And there's advantages and disadvantages to that. I'll start off with the disadvantage, which is that people can be anonymous on social media. They can use different names and stuff, which means they're often not as accountable, and they will sometimes engage in activities, for example, attacking others without having to say exactly who they are. So one of the things a letter to the editor is, it's a public forum that people can engage in that, first of all, they have to be who they are. Letters to the editor, you do have to supply an address and even a phone number. They don't publish it, but they use it to verify that you are exactly who you say that you are. Secondly, they're for posterity. So once they're published, they're published. Social media, you can say something pretty bad, and you can delete it later, and maybe somebody screenshotted it, or maybe someone didn't. But it's in there for posterity when it's in the newspaper, whether that's online or in print. And then finally, one of the things that I really like about letters to the editor is people tend to be, they tend to be more thoughtful about them. They don't just hit send, or if they do hit send, they wake up the next morning and they regret it and they send another note saying, hey, can I rethink that? So Eugene Weekly still publishes letters to the editor, and this is how you find them. So here you go. If you go to eugeneweekly.com, you can see that we've landed here on the site. This is from Cannabis Issue, as you can tell. I realize I was giving you a lecture on public forums while you're sort of staring at a Grateful Dead bear dancing at you. So in order to find the letters, you have two options. You can go over here to our little hamburger menu and you can click on opinion or letters. Or honestly, you can just scroll down. We put the news up high, and you'll need to know this for the rest of the class. This is where the news goes. This is when anything extra that goes online goes. And then over here is arts and culture, which can still be kind of newsy, but sort of isn't always newsy. Scrolling down, we come down here to the opinion section. Local and vocal is where we put longer viewpoints. Letters to the editor, exactly what they say they are. And slant is the editorial column of the paper. So right here is where you go to find the letters to the editor. The weekly, which comes out once a week on Thursdays, has a print edition, and then we also have an online extra edition. So you'll notice that some letters are marked as letters to the editor, and like this one is marked as an online extra or online letters down here. So what I'll be asking you to do is each week you will need to read the media. You're going to read KLCC, you are going to, or you can listen to KLCC, you're going to read the Register Guard, and you are going to read Eugene Weekly. This first week, you are only pretty much reading Eugene Weekly because we are the only one that still publishes letters to the editor. Popping over here really quick, if we pop over to the Register Guard and scroll down to what used to be the opinion section, they actually wrote a whole piece that I have on your discussion forum about why they no longer publish opinion pieces or letters to the editor. KLCC as radio never really has done that. So Eugene Weekly is still continuing to do it. And this is where you read the sort of community voices. So I'm just going to click on this one. And you can see, and I apologize for my little slightly slow internet here, and also the weird way our telling you to sign up for newsletters interrupts the formatting here. But you can see each letter is individual. They each have a headline. They have what they're writing about and a signature down here. And again, they don't print the address. We just print the city it's from. So again, headline, the letter, the signature, and so on. And you can see all the different things that people are weighing in on. So as a reader, what I'd ask you to do is just sit there and just sort of scroll through the headlines, and you decide what is interesting to you. Is it the Constitution? Is it Lane County Mental Health? Eugene needs a new hospital, the debate over the mayors. And here I'm going to land on e-bikes because I have to say I got grabbed by the headline. E-bikes are for the lazy and wreck the environment. So here is this letter writer, and he is weighing in on a previous letter. So let's see what we think of this. With regards to electric letters, September 21st by Charlie Loeb and Angie Gass. He supplies the date so that we can go and find those other letters and see what we think of those original letters. By the way, Irony duly noted that this is right next to the advertisement for an electric car guest drive. Loeb, given the dire news related to droughts increasing in severity faster than experts anticipated, how will the extra surplus of hydropower magically appear to power this fad? The Mississippi River dropped so low, the ocean's salinity encroached upstream, forcing the Army to supply 40 million gallons of bottled water to those in need. The same river was actually given serious consideration to reroute to the west or to save us from ourselves. WTF. Okay, I'm gonna pause right here and say, as a writing teacher and an editor, I'm not blown away so far, because he kind of starts in with an attack, which is not always the best way to start something. And also, he doesn't tell us what really he's responding to. He says he's responding to the letters, but doesn't give me any background. So all of a sudden, I'm being hit with information about a surplus of hydropower and something about the Mississippi River, but he doesn't give me a source on it. And I'm just sort of left going, what? Which is not what the response you want from your reader. Goes to the next person, quoting Gass. E-bike sales are growing faster than other bike sales. They're good for the environment, good for out-of-shape people. The e-bike is another marketing ploy to mine the earth on behalf of another human product. Far from being environmental and physical health improvement from the now, quote, obsolete, century-old, 100% sustainably helium, not lithium-powered bike. Laziness is inherently built into an e-bike, as is our selfish lack of compassion toward the rest of the Earth's living systems. This is human-induced, normalized consumerist mentality is why the planet is on Gass's huge mistake to ruin it. Be careful what you shop for. 3 lithium mines are planned for Eastern Oregon Great Basin Desert. Their round-the-clock operations will not only destroy pristine habitat diversity, including threatened water sources and their dependent fish species, they will comprise the very last vestige of dark sky in the country. Globally, it too is considered a threatened resource. Okay, well, there's like a total lot going on here. Again, this is not blowing me with a letter to the editor. It could be that I'm still, recovering from COVID. My brain's not working very well, but I'm not really following the argument beyond the fact that he doesn't seem to like e-bikes. And he kind of gets down here, this really interesting thing about lithium mines and the environment. But there's no cogent overall argument here. There's nothing that makes me feel persuaded. And I kind of feel like I should be persuaded. I'm pretty pro-environment. So this is sort of a how not to do your letter to the editor. And this is the kind of thing I want you thinking as you're reading. Remember, letters to the editor, they say letter to the editor, but they're really to other readers, and they're meant to talk to you and persuade you, the reader, of something. Does this persuade you? That's the kind of response I'm looking for when you discuss these on the forums. And what I want you to be thinking about when you write your own letter to the editor is what I'm saying going to be persuasive to my readers? In this particular case, like I said, I'm not terribly persuaded. So I'm going to go to this one. We'll do one more. Ban all e-bikes and scooters. As a person who bikes to work daily, traditional cyclist via the various bike routes in Lane County, I felt compelled to respond to the pro e-bike letter in the September 21st issue of EW. Okay, so already I have a little bit more of an introduction. I know where this person is coming from and what they're responding to. In spite of the supposed law banning e-bikes and scooters in the North Plank Path, I see both in the path every day, multiple times a day. These electrified vehicles pose a serious threat to the life and safety of innocent everyday cyclists and pedestrians. Said motorists are zipping along at high speeds, flagrantly disregarding the well-being of those around them, and never wearing helmets or other protective materials. On multiple occasions, I've been swarmed by drunken e-scooter riding hoodlums. I'm just going to hazard a guess this person is possibly an older person, or they just really like the word hoodlum, which is an excellent word, and I haven't seen it used in a while. I say ban all e-bikes, e-scooters, and other so-called micro-mobility devices. James Burnham, Eugene. Okay, I may not agree with this person. I mean, I think I'm actually kind of okay with e-bikes and e-scooters. I can see where you don't want them to go very fast. However, I at least am persuaded to look at his point of view because he has introduced me to his idea. He has built a cogent argument and one that I can actually follow. So that is what you should be thinking about as you do these types of things. If you scan through here and you don't find any of these letters particularly interesting, again, we've got a couple weeks worth of letters you can go through. I prefer if you stay to probably about within the 1 to 2 week period, so it's still pretty up to date. So here you can kind of see some of the previous letters, people calling for a new mayor, the hospital closing. There's been a lot on that. Here is one of the letters that was being responded to. And here is the other one. I'm going to go with the shorter one because I only have so much voice. Why ban e-bikes on a bike path? Native Eugenian here. I support mostly liberal-leaning politics. I love Eugene. However, I am frustrated with the city of Eugene. Why would they prohibit e-bike scooters in the North Bank bike path? Who decided this? Did we vote on this? This is ridiculous. Make a speed limit for everyone and leave it at that. Okay, again, I like this better than that first letter we looked at because, again, she starts a little bit of an introduction. She tells us who she is. And you don't necessarily need to say who you are, but sort of your stake in the game is good to know. And she tells us what the issue is here, is prohibiting bikes and scooters in the North Bank bike path. Literally, I can currently build a shelter on the bikes to reverse steal cars and bike and poop on the sidewalks, but I cannot ride my e-bike on the bike path. This is a huge mistake by the city of Eugene. My family and I love our bikes. E-bike sales are growing faster than any other bike sales. E-bikes are good for the environment, good to get out of the shape people out and about. E-bikes, illegal on North Bank bike paths. Why? The other thing I find a little bit weird on the letter is it sort of does this like backhanded attack on homeless people. And I just feel like those are sort of two different issues, and I'm not sure that I find that particularly persuasive. However, I recognize that I think some of my readers would find that persuasive. They would find them related issues in terms of city government. So this is what I want you to do on the forum, is be looking at these letters and then discuss. And again, you're going to post what the headline was, who wrote it, and basically a link so that people can find it so they know what you're talking about. And you're going to talk about the opinion that's expressed. You're going to agree or disagree with what's in there. But I also want to talk about the sentencing and how it is written. So in this particular letter, yeah, this is a sentence fragment, but she's starting off very casual. She uses short, sharp sentences. Normally, I don't like asking questions in an argumentative piece. However, in this particular case, she's introducing the topic. Why would they do this? Who decided this? So it actually does work here. And then down here, again, I wasn't terribly persuaded by this one, but then she ends on this positive argument. So overall, I think the writing is really clear, and that's actually really important. The first letter, which I will go back to, or try to with my slightly slow internet. This first letter that we looked at, I may just clicked on the wrong one. I did. The internet's out of control. Okay, I clicked on online letters. Here we go. Let's see. It's just a little bit all over the place. And if you don't go back and read these other letters, you can't follow. And you always want your reader to be able to follow. So bring your reader along and make sure they can follow you. Okay, next we are going to look at your own letter to the editor assignment.